Oh geez, that actually is 1080p. Alright, well welcome to King of the Castle. Assuming we can get enough people to join. I'll be starting the game in a few minutes. Got an eye open. Got a few things to set up here. Let's get my cameras on. There we go. So last time on the Banana Dynasty, I actually don't remember a lot of it, but it doesn't really matter. The king died. That's basically all that matters. So we now have Queen Xaquina, because the king failed to rein in the worm cult. Actually, because the king tried to rein in the worm cult, the grandees of the south were able to get the religious conviction they needed in order to oust the king. Which, honestly, to me is hilarious, because there was no grandees in chat at the time. It was just the chiefs and the patricians that handed the win straight to the grandees, and I could not. By default, that's a good way to die. So, alright, we got nobody yet. I'm gonna give it a shot. If I don't get enough people in the next, say, 10 minutes, there's nothing I can do. Can't start a game without people to stream. Not this game, at least. If I don't get enough people, maybe I could do some other game. I don't know what other game. Let's see, what other games do I have that I actually might play on this? I could do Civilization. I've been meaning to play Worldbox. I really do like that game, and I haven't played it in a long time because I wanted to play the update on stream so that you can see my reaction. There's actually more. There's been more updates. Been a few updates since the last time I played, because that would have been back at the beginning of the year before, I think, yeah, before March 12th. That was the update last time. So if I can get on stream and play that, I'd actually be really happy. It's a really fun game, and yeah, for now, I just want to play King of the Castle. It's a fun game, but I need people to play with. So, hopefully some people come along soon and we can play the game. I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, we actually do have someone. Welcome, Language Hunter. Hopefully we can get a few more people in so that your joining is not in vain. Ah, welcome, Lady Pendragon. Quite a regal name you got. Well, So far we got a magician, a grandee, and a chief. How's your guys' night going? Evenings, or I assume evenings. For all I know, it's mornings. How's your days going? It's, let's see. Almost ready to start. 2 out of 3. I had a fun time last time. It was last Wednesday. Can't remember most of what happened last game. I cannot remember, but I had a fun time. I'm glad you're doing good. It's good to hear. I love this game too. I have a lot more experience as a noble. This is gonna be my 3rd time playing as a monarch. So, as far as actually ruling the kingdom, very little. In all likelihood, I'm going to get dethroned again. But, as far as being a noble, I have had a few games. Mostly playing on Mr. Kaji's chat, the Bearclaw Dynasty. Banana Dynasty. I do like the Banana Dynasty. It's a good name. It's a proud name. So we got Queen Xaquina, I guess. Banana? Do you take the surname if you take over? Or is it just... Sheikahs, welcome back. It's good to see you. Oh, with 3 people, I'm gonna begin the game, because I don't trust that I don't trust that waiting will do much good. Coronation after the flood. Ooh. I think we'll start with after the flood. You walk through the council hall, reflecting on the miracle that led you to the throne. The floor is still unpleasantly sticky. Oh dear. Your Majesty, I have the person responsible for the tragic beer flood that took the King Canop's life. Don't punish me, Your Majesty. This was an act of God. After all, didn't it put you on the throne? Your Highness, this man's breweries import a lot of hops from the north. If he goes out of business, our farms will suffer. Can you let him off? Ooh. Well, a hefty fine might be alright. Trade from the... farming from the chiefs would suffer. I think... that would be a little... Now... From the last game, if anybody... Sheikahs was here last game. We have some new first-time chatters playing, so... What happened last game was... There was a vote. The Grandees were on their third scheme, or the third part of their scheme, and they ended up maxing out their faith by... yes. Monarch vote. I'm just gonna start the vote. The Grandees maxed out their faith by a vote to integrate a worm cult into the religion of the ninth god. So we have we now worship a worm god. All right. Are we gonna get Sheikahs voting? I'm gonna count down from 5, and I'm gonna watch my stream preview to see when my fingers all go down. So 5, 4, 3, 2. Ah, there we go. Ashika's made it in. So we now worship a worm god. That was the last event of the season, and that completed the Grandee's schemes. So Xaquina took the throne from Canop. Thank you, Your Majesty, most merciful. A lack of punishment for a brewer responsible for over 50 deaths, including the previous Canop, sends shockwaves through the kingdom. Business owners across the land realize they can maximize profits by getting away with severe negligence. Oh dear. Workplace accidents skyrocket. Another beverage-related flood seems inevitable sooner or later. Well, I mean, at least the trade went up. That was actually pretty low. But more importantly, the decision cements belief that this flood was an act of God. The Ninth has directly put you on the throne. How could anyone challenge you? So, I did a roll for random traits. I got Zealous, Vengeful, and Humble is the 3 traits for this queen. And the zealousness is towards the 9th god, the worm god. Alright, coronation. Let's get that started with. Your Majesty, you have won the throne from King Canop, but you still must answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. Should I get changed into my waterproof robes then? It may be for the best, Your Majesty. Shall we call the nobles in? Someone might not be voting. Lavish ceremony. Is something in a lower faith? No. Well, I think the least... I think I'm just gonna vote for the river. Actually, I'll just leave it. No laws. We're in a lawless land. A faithful land. When we are faithful, we need no laws. Ooh. A lavish ceremony. Oh, we do have the treasury. Actually, it does actually raise faith, so that's good. Alright. I'm gonna do the same again. 5. Okay, well, you know what? Everyone's voted now. Alright. We have a winner. Everyone decided to vote money. You depart the palace with your fellow grandees in tow, making a long, bumpy journey down to the sunset in the south. The other nobles remain in the capital, furious to be left out. It is unanimous. So who is actually... I haven't taken a look. So, Language Hunter, you are the grandee. You have the option to vote for loyalty. You are crowned among your ancestors, amid a beautiful sprawl of gleaming marble and lush gardens. The air is suffused with a cooling mist to fend off the scorching southern sun. This is how it's meant to be. So we have a new tradition. Let's see if we hold to that tradition next game. Path to victory. Your Majesty, the history books do not look kindly upon usurpers, unless, of course, they prove themselves worthy of the throne they have stolen. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Now, I am gonna go with as a saint because Xaquina is a religious zealot. It does actually help that the Grandies are already at 10. Defiance can be fun, I'll admit that. The church will love you, I suspect, but will anyone else? I suggest over the next few years, you focus on improving the kingdom's overall faith as much as possible. I actually have pretty good faith already, so this works out pretty well. Once you have an heir, we return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. So we'll see how that goes. And end the season. Zulma of the Language Hunter lineage, well-known southern prodigy, stands bathed in sunshine, speaking softly. Praise be, Xaquina now sits on the throne. The Grandees are in charge, but the other regions will already be scheming to depose her. Do we stay loyal to the new queen, or cut our losses and put me on the throne instead? So, Xaquina or Zulma? Who do you align with? So, if you want to be loyal, then vote A. Alright. Well, it's good to have you on board. Glad to have some help this time. That settles it then. Glory to the Queen and glory to the ninth god. But we can always change our mind. If Xaquina ever gets out of line, we can take up arms and get rid of her the old-fashioned way. So you can always rebel. If it doesn't look like I'm gonna win, rebellion is an option. The Grandee's goal is to aid the Queen by countering the other region's schemes as much as they can. They will win the game if the Queen produces an heir and completes her ambition. However, if defiance gets too high, they can still change their minds and rise up in rebellion. Currently, you need 7 defiance in order to win. Heth of the Shikas clan, sinister northern troublemaker, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, spitting as they speak. Chiefs of the North, we all know that I should be on the throne, not this imposter Queen Xaquina. How do we make that happen? So you have the option of prophecy by raising authority, Ragnarok by raising your military, or toot the horn. Now, hornblowers. Okay. Sure. The chiefs plan to raise an ancient northern prophecy before the new queen rises. The kingdom will be ruled by a mad tyrant. To advance their scheme, the chiefs must raise authority to 5 or more in 2 seasons. Well, they seem to have that. But I'm not worried, that's just the first part of their scheme. Florian of the Lady Pendragon family, powerful coastal tycoon, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, speaking calmly. That's disappointing. I was hoping it was a well-known quill, but it's just any old quill, I guess. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Queen Xaquina. Something must be done. Doppelganger, uprising, or conspiracy. So you can raise my treasury, or lower my treasury, or just lower your defiance. Now, lowering your defiance, I think it's already low enough, to be honest. I think it's 4 or less, so that could be the option to go for. Alright, treasury. Uprising, that's a good. The patricians plan to incite a peasant uprising to overthrow the queen, before swooping in to steal the throne for themselves. To advance their scheme, the patricians must raise the treasury to 2,000 or more in 2 seasons. Well, that scheme looks promising. Alright. Prophecy, Loyalist, and Uprising. Seems fun. I do actually want to get rid of Monarch's vote because it just seems at this point rather... I feel like you need at least like 5 or 6 nobles before you can actually use this fairly, otherwise you just win the vote. Anonymous voting. Oh wait, no, it's call for stability, that's the one. Or call for unity. That's the one that is a little broken with low amounts. Swing votes, anonymous voting, call for unity. Well, yeah, I'll be fair, cause and just go with anonymous voting. But yeah, I don't want to game the system just to win. So let's start our events. Your Greatness, the merchants in the north are complaining about bandits. The northern roads are too dangerous to travel, even with guards. Gangs of highly organized, well-armed highwaymen will ambush merchant caravans and steal absolutely everything. Oh dear. Now, anonymous voting doesn't seem all that useful either, like you can just look in chat and see who's voting, but I'm gonna veto... Ooh. Okay, mercenary. Make it... Oh dear. Nothing. I'm not gonna veto anything. I'm good with whatever you vote for. I'm hopefully gonna get better laws later down the road, because that monarch vote's gotta go. Alright. Looks like we are sending... gambling. I do like a good gamble. Xaquina's not a fan, but I do. Alright, we're sending a battle-hardened regiment. It failed. We send a battalion of the North's hardiest veterans, experienced in fighting on foreign fields. If they can't root these bandits out, who can? Well, evidently they can't. A month passes, you receive word that the battalion spent weeks marching in the circles and chasing bandits, who would drop their weapons and blend in with the locals. Finally, the soldiers' frustration turned into anger. In an attempt to flush out the bandit leader, your soldiers burned an entire village to the ground and massacred dozens of peasants. Bandit leader, if they were there at all, escaped unharmed. Well, I have to admit one of the viewers is actually me, because I have the stream preview going just to make sure everything's working. There is another viewer that could join though. Northern peasants now view you as a murderous tyrant. So if you do want to join, you're welcome to join. Just type exclamation point join and then pronouns. Two viewers can join now. An invitation. Your Majesty, it is my singular honor to invite you to attend the annual Night of the Seven Pyres celebration. Of course, as a former grandee, you must remember attending such festivals in your youth. Now you will get a chance to organize a pyre yourself. I look forward to attending. I assume this pyre is not, heretical in nature. We are blessed. Well, it sounds like it's not heretical. Don't worry, organizing a pyre won't be too costly. Make it a night to remember. I look forward to it, Your Majesty. Well, they'll come later on, I suppose. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the patrician with champion gladiators from the arena, and the grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all. Your Holiness, the Sisters of Steel are chosen by the ninth god. Surely they will be chosen by you as well? Actually, yes. As a religious zealot, and knowing that the grandees decided to be loyal, I'm gonna pick the Southern Nuns. That defiance, though, I have to do something about that. I fear this is actually gonna end in rebellion, is what my prediction is. Oh dear. I see rebellion coming, but hopefully, I mean, the chiefs do want to keep authority up, so... Battle nuns arrive in the palace a few weeks later. They nod to you silently, their solemn steel masks betraying nothing, before filing into formation behind your throne. Alright, let's end the season, and now you get to start, and now you get to auction. Well, she can just decide what buildings get funded here. So, we have, I'm gonna start the auction. I'm gonna type in 10 seconds so that everyone knows when there's 10 seconds left, because there's a bit of a stream delay. You can raise the chief's farming, raise authority, raise the grandee's military, raise stability, lower the patrician's farming, or lower the patrician's faith. As of now, I have to put the exclamation point in. There we go. Ooh. Oh, whoops. I put that in 1 second late. There we go. I just a bit late. Well, there's some lowered faith and some increased authority. At least we won't see rebellion. No, it's all good. I was a little bit late with my 10 seconds. I forgot to keep an eye on that. Ooh. Burned village, poor harvest, and finding a spouse. I think I'll just start with the spouse. Yeah, that's my bad. I'll make sure I keep an eye on that better next time. I'll do 15 seconds too. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference? Men, women? Or do you not mind? I don't know, what do you guys think? Any? Alright. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Shall indeed. It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the grandees as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Right? We'll see about that. If the grandees offer a faithful option, The Defiance is not going down, is it? Bad news, Your Highness. We have suffered an extremely poor harvest in the south. Unseasonably bad weather is to blame. That's not good. That's a shame. Unfortunately, it'll be a tough winter. Well, I guess that's that then. Should I have said what can we do about it? Because... Oh. Your Majesty, the peasants in the north were enraged by your response to the bandit problem. I can understand why. Perhaps burning down an entire village was a bit heavy-handed. Under feudal law, they must tie the share of the harvest to the chiefs, but this year they refused. The chiefs are not taking this well. The damned villagers are making us look like fools. Our cities and castles could starve in winter if the council doesn't do something. Yeah, the chiefs are really not doing well. Nothing here does anything for faith. I don't mind vetoing. Now, I did see Sheikah's wealth. The chiefs can pay for the harvest. Peasants can keep their grain, or send another regiment to intimidate the peasants into giving up the harvest. Now that looks bad overall. I don't really want to go with that option there. So I'm gonna start the vote. Now that's curious. Why are you voting that? There's more authority to be had. Oh well. That option passed anyways. The peasants shall keep their grain. Oh yeah, I see. The chiefs complain that without their customary share of the harvest, they've been forced to buy their food at exorbitant rates from other regions. I see. Meanwhile, sitting atop a mountain of grain going bad, the peasants sell it off cheaply and get richer as a result. And so, in roundabout fashion, the chiefs end up buying the grain off their own peasants anyways. Well, that didn't seem very good for the chiefs. For the first time, some of the increasingly wealthy northern peasants join the middle class alongside scholars, lawyers, merchants, and priests. Well, I guess let's end the season. Far to the north, where snows blanket the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs uncover an ancient prophecy foretelling the rise of a tyrant king, and the warrior who will overthrow her. A congregation of God speakers huddle around the tablets, detailing the supposedly ancient story, whispering excitedly. Praise Morgana, the tablets are genuine. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. My mic just fell off the rather precarious stand. Oh, that was a bad mistake. And the gods are good, and we are blessed. Heth will be our queen. All hail the Lord Render. Cheers circle the clan hall. A mug of ale is tipped over Heth's head. Well, thanks for forgiving me. It really took me by surprise. It's just, yeah. The people of the north are rising. Valhalla's warriors have already pledged themselves to us. The influence of the old gods is spreading. We must ensure to keep the old ways of the north alive, and surely Morgana will bless us with the power to crown Heth. Perhaps not enough. For the next stage of the chief's scheme, they must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. Well, the chiefs have an easy path to victory thus far. Across the kingdom, discontent with the king is rising. Everyone knew that she was better off, but until now, it hadn't occurred to most people just how much better off. I mean, it's only 3,000, like the Chica's is richer than I am! Go rebel against... Like, look at that. Like, go rebel against her. Now the peasants are asking all sorts of troublesome questions about their benevolent overlord. And, as everyone knows, once a question has been asked, it can't be unasked. Oh, God. The chief's goal is currently to lower their faith to 4 or less. Yep, prophecy is going well. So the chiefs are actually like directly opposed to my goal of increasing their faith. The patricians already lowered theirs from 7 down to 6. We gotta get a little bit more faith, guys. I mean, we're only at 20. Hidden deep in the spider's web of alleys, crisscrossing Zealous is an old tavern. Yes, the chiefs typically are heathens. Somewhere in its hazy backrooms are a number of patricians who have met to celebrate their recent success. The citizens are getting rowdy, and it's all thanks to us. Now that they know how much wealth the queen's hiding, they're itching to get rid of her. No, but they shouldn't have their own beliefs. That's the point. They should be worshipping our great and almighty worm god. The citizens are getting rowdy, and it's all thanks to us. Oh yes, I read that part. Careful we don't get them too riled up, mind you, or they'll start asking questions about our wealth as well. Indeed, now it's time to incite some real chaos. Show them that Queen Xaquina is not only greedy, she's utterly incompetent too. So it looks like stability is gonna need to go down. 4 or less. So you're just 1 too high. Nah, you'll get over it. It's not persecution, it's just a little bit of nudging. It's coercion maybe, but persecution, nah. I mean, I can't really afford to cruel tax anyone. I mean, if you want to be taxed, the kingdom's got lots of money already, though. But if you're asking for it, okay. The the grandees can't afford the. Okay. The grandees don't have too much. Yeah, there is a promise of loyalty, and the grandees don't have too much defiance at the moment. I mean, they're at 0 defiance. You need 8 defiance to rebel. That's why the chiefs are currently a bit more concerning to me. Alright, well, if you want to be taxed, you want to be taxed. No, the chiefs are defiant. Okay, well, let's see who I'm gonna marry. I have a feeling this is gonna... Now, just going to mention that if you do want to rebel, if the chiefs do decide to rebel, well, you already have your second scheme dealt with. Your third scheme probably won't be too hard either. Rebellion will just hand it to the patricians because that'll lower my stability. I have found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance. Yes, I know. The Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall, where they've arranged 3 potential easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Alright then, let's see the eligible candidates. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. Odfin, firstborn son of Northern Sheikah's clan. He's been a melancholy sort ever since he was a child, but otherwise, he's decent enough company. Yes, but how faithful is he? He works through his sadness on the battlefield, going into berserk rages. He's an incredibly driven person in battle counts, getting up at the crack of dawn each morning and going for a swim in a frozen lake. On the coast, we have Dominica, the wealthy heiress to Lady Patrician, Lady Pendragon's estate. I mean, just look at her. She's gorgeous. Apparently, she's got a silver tongue, too. She loves to go hunting, which isn't a common hobby among the patricians. There's also scandal recently, where she was publicly critical of the church. Nothing came of it. Now that might be an issue. And finally... Yes, but Xaquina doesn't like the sound of it. And finally, from the south, Casilda, the eldest daughter of the language hunter lineage. She's reputed to have an ego the size of the sun. There's nothing wrong with confidence, right? No, pride is a sin, though. She's got in trouble with the Inquisition for her interest in potion brewing and the occult, but shows no sign of quitting. There are rumors that she's obsessed with avenging an old slight on her family honor. Oh dear. Okay. You promised to send me a faithful option. Language Hunter. What is this? The occults? We can't have that. Okay, Outfin. Melancholy. I don't. This doesn't sound like a very faithful person. Berserk Rages? I can't go with the patrician. Publicly critical of the church? That's not... None of these options are good. Pete... And then in trouble with the Inquisition for potion brewing in the occult. Queen Xaquina is a religious zealot. That's the personality trait. Or that's one of the 3 personality traits. You have a plan. Blue Pigs is on Patrician's faction. And also, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. I mean, chastity is a pretty good choice for a aspiring saint, so I refuse to marry any of them. The lowborn marriage would... Ooh. Now that's actually bad. A lived life in chastity, devoted to the church. Oh, that just... Well, that just traded the, schemes. Now the patricians are gonna go through, but that's... You got 4 seasons to lower your faith, though. I'm sure the church will be very pleased with your show of devotion, but the nobles won't. They'll see it as abandonment of your duty. Defiance is looking not great. I can't deny that's not great. Alright, a curious curse. A giant glass globe filled to the brim with murky water is wheeled before the council. The fishbowl contains Lord Patrician Blue Pigs, suspended in liquid. What do you do? Folks his head above the surface. What's going on here? Your Augusta Majesty. Glub glub. A most infuriating circumstance has befallen me. Glub glub. Good grief, what happened to you? I have been cursed by a sea wizard. He inflicted me with these gills. Oh dear. On the Pats, you got 4 seasons left, so I can't leave the water for more than a couple glubbing minutes. I happen to own a tannery that's polluting some picturesque beach he likes. How was I supposed to clubbing no? I demand you arrest this maniac and force him to club. Remove these gills. Well. I... You're right, that is a low military. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna start the... Oh god. Postal soldiers. We don't have a lot of military, though. I doubt that's actually gonna work. But I don't know what actually will work, so I'm just gonna start the vote, let you guys decide. I mean, a diplomat might work. Probably not. No, we're relying on the chiefs for the military right now, so if the chiefs rebel, we're done. Like, that's it. They've taken the throne at that point. So, alright, with everyone having voted, voting has been closed. We're gonna send a diplomat to politely ask the wizard to reverse the curse. Soon enough, the sea wizard appears before the council. As he walks in, I recognize that face from other games I've played. Seawater sloshes at his feet, welling up from the ground itself. What do you want from me? Well, we need you to reverse the curse afflicting Lord Patrician Blue Pigs. And why would I do a thing like that? His tannery is ruining my favorite beach. I don't curse for nothing. 1,000 gold. Well, do you want to... Alright, do you want to remain a fish person, or do you want to spend a bit of money? I'll leave this up to you. No, I'm not spending your taxes on Okay, that actually is a good point. I do have to actually watch out for the... I don't know if the 1,000 gold will do it, though. You know what? No, Language Hunter made a good point. I gotta watch that Defiance. Alright. Your Defiance is now insolent. You know, come to think of it, the coast is long and winding, with many hidden beaches. The wizard's flesh indulges in ripples and turns suddenly to water. Splashing down in your corridor, he's left you with quite a cleanup job. Lord Patrician Blue Pigs appears in the council hall a few days later, back to his old self, though he has a case of hiccups that persist for several months. That's understandable. Alright. And I couldn't do it. Every day, more bandits attack our roads in the north. We are overrun with scoundrels and outlaws. I've looked into this, Your Majesty. A leader of sorts has emerged from among the rabble. For now, the lawless scum do his bidding. Tell me more. He calls himself the Gallows Man. Is a good name, because he was given the noose twice and survived both times. He's a vicious fellow, and his bandits have been known to slaughter penniless pilgrims for sport. Well, I'm sure we'll... The local villagers are terrified, all terrified of him. That's why they don't turn him in, and let his gang hide amongst them when the sheriff comes knocking. Who cares who he is? We need to kill him and teach the others a lesson. Ooh. Now that's not gonna... That doesn't look like it's gonna work. Everything else raises defiance. This is frightening. I feel like we have enough people here to I can actually use Monarch Vote without it being too slimy. I'll just do anonymous voting. I don't need to know who votes on what. Just vote. Vote your heart. Okay. Well, we have one vote thus far. I feel like my stream's lagging a bit behind, so I'm gonna do a countdown from 5. Go 5, 4, 3. Hold on, we have 4 nobles. All right, fair enough. Okay, temptation doesn't sound very religious. Bounty, though, I know it's a low chance, but I don't want the defiance to go up. A month later, a bounty hunter stomps into your throne room, holding a wet sack. Tosses it at your feet, and something rolls out. You recognize it from the wanted posters. It's the severed head of the gallows man, gently leaking onto your carpet. Well, on my carpet, like, it could have, like, just given it to the spy master or something. Like, I did not realize the bounty would be that hefty. Wow. Ooh. I have to pay him, a religious zealot. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's... authority would go down and trade would go down. Welcome, Gardevoir. Let's see. You've joined the Grandees. So your scheme is loyalist. The bounty hunter strides from your throne room, whistling tunelessly and dragging behind him the same bloody sack full of clinking gold. Yeah, that's a happy bounty hunter. Without their leader, the bandits in the north lose their courage. Robberies are still a regular occurrence, but a few caravan guards are enough to keep merchants' cargo safe. Well, we got that back. And thwarted the position scheme, so we're doing good. Yeah, we do need another one. We do need another chief. The common folk are grateful to you for freeing them from the gallows man's threats and violence. Deep in the backrooms of the royal palace, the southern grandees are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. On the wall is a corkboard filled with pins crisscrossed by colored string. The queen refuses to marry despite everyone's advice. You better at least get on with finding an heir, or we'll all be traveling to thereafter sooner than we intended. Indeed, the chiefs have been propping up the queen's authority a lot recently. Just highly suspicious. I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to use it against her somehow. And we've got to keep our efforts. As Queen Xaquina isn't going anywhere on our watch. The grandees must continue to aid the queen by countering the other region's schemes. They will win the game if the queen produces an heir and completes her ambition. So I do have to get on that heir thing soon. It sounds like it's probably going to be next season. Okay, I do like the sound of reverse voting. 600 treasury. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Iron Choice, and I'm gonna replace Monarch's vote because though it's not as bad at this point, I don't feel like using it. Let's save that one. It's not long until the Night of the Seven Pyres. Oh. Well, that sucks. The sun beats down like a hammer. Brandy language hunter meets you at the gates to the city of Mirona. Glad you could make it, Your Holiness. Welcome to Mirona. A beautiful place you have here. The whole city is excited to have you here, Your Majesty. The citizens cannot wait to see your pyre burn. You'll provide the surrounding entertainment in exchange and arrange the event's spectacular climax. But first, which of the deposed gods' effigies do you want to be responsible for burning? Darkness. I'll burn the darkness. An excellent decision, Your Majesty. Traditionally, the seventh god's effigy is over 50 feet high and burned in the central square, usually attracting the biggest crowd. Now, what kind of entertainers? Well, we gotta have some fire dancers, or at least fire breathers. Oh, let's go fire dancers. Ooh. Clowns. Everyone could use a good laugh. I feel like we need at least 3. We'll keep some wealth, but I think that'll be all. The work is not done yet, Your Majesty. You must decide on the pyre's spectacular climax. Sometimes we go with fireworks, but those are expensive. Black powder must be sourced all the way from Kurth. A less exciting alternative is to topple the effigy over like a falling tree. That sounds dangerous. Just a normal amount of fireworks, I think. I want something there, but... Wonderful, Your Majesty. Your pyre will accumulate in a fireworks display. Culminate in this fireworks display, bringing the night sky alive. I will make the arrangements at once. I can't wait. Soon the night of the seven pyres is upon you. The streets of Merona are crammed with merrymakers. As the royal stagecoach makes its way to the town square, the citizens greet you with cheers and tossed roses. The effigy of the seventh god towers over the rooftops, a 50-foot demon with fearsome horns. As it bursts into flames, out come your fire dancers, clowns, and fire breathers. Well, let's hope. The clowns honk and squeak, the fire dancers sway alluringly, spinning their flaming torches. The fire breathers roar gouts of flame. The crowd applauds, delighted at the sheer spectacle. Finally, your effigy explodes and fills the night sky with fizzling colors. The crowd coos. Surrounding buildings look distinctly flammable. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Ah! Fortunately, no stray sparks catch anything alight. Thank the stars. You didn't want to be known as the queen who burnt down Merona. That I did not... That would be bad, yes. That I did not want. The next day you wait anxiously to hear how the South reacted to your fiery display. Let's see. The Faith Challenge succeeded. Defiance is... Well, Faith can't go higher. Stability is now civil. Everything's looking good. Congratulations, Your Majesty. All anyone can talk about is your spectacular pyre. Everyone agrees you honored the ninth god and put on one hell of a show. Excuse my blasphemy. Praise the ninth god. Praise be upon him, Your Highness. I hope he come down someday for another night of the seven pyres. Well, that went well. I'm pretty poor now, but otherwise that went well. A terrible curse. That doesn't sound good. Lord Patrician the Blue Pigs rushes into the council chamber, breathless and in disarray. By the old gods, you look like you haven't slept for weeks. That's because I've been placed under a curse. My hair's falling out in chunks. By the ninth god, get away from me. It was one of my citizens. I saw it in her eyes. She's an evil witch. Well... I'd like to have the witch tested, personally. That's not gonna do much to... That's not gonna do much to sway the, nobles, but that's my choice. Ah, welcome back, Lord Lotus. I can't remember if you were, you were a grandee last, or patrician last time, weren't you? Yeah, we're doing good. You are a... We have 3 patricians now. You were indeed a patrician. Oh, I could have waited a bit longer, I'm sorry. Oh. You arrange for the priestess of the ninth god to question the accused. The church does not look too kindly upon witches, particularly if they're cursing a noble for no reason. After several days of questioning and burning of incense, the priestess makes her announcement. The accused is innocent. Things settle down, and Blue Pigs eventually admits that Some new pomade may be to blame for his hair troubles. All this because you decided to use new pomade. Come on! Farming is now fertile. Defiance is grumbling. A matter of faith. Your Majesty, there are northern citizens scattered throughout the kingdom, with nowhere to pay homage to their gods. And why would it kill you to build a few temples to the old gods outside the north? They don't have to be big temples. At risk of the Ninth's wrath, are you mad? I think the Ninth God is big enough and old enough to treat this with maturity. Really? Okay. All or nothing. Okay, well... See, but if I'm gonna sacrifice faith, I at least want Defiance to go down as a result. I don't... Yeah, I'm gonna veto B. Either not all or nothing. Like it's that's all good, Blue Pigs. I think the game will just notice that you're inactive and it'll be fine. At least to my understanding, I don't think there's any actual option to leave. No, nobody wants to build temples. Well, we kept our faith, I guess. By the old gods, all we want is a place to pray. Maybe the north is better off on its own. The north is very upset now, and a rebellion would definitely squat. Like, we can't really fight that off. But I'll do my best. And you have a good time too. I hope wherever you're going, I hope you have fun. Your Majesty, I have a few messages from some respected members of the clergy. Is everything alright? Yes, of course. It's quite the honor, honestly. This isn't a state chest in honor of the Ninth God. It's caused quite the stir. Many people want to meet you. The High Inquisitor mentioned wanting your assistance in dealing with some heretical items. The leaders of the Sisterhood of Steel would love to see you, and a group of reclusive monks have invited you for a visit. Wow. Okay, nunnery, monks, anyone... Does anyone have any preference here? Because I don't... What's this about a nunnery? The Sisterhood of Steel is an ancient order known for their military prowess, Your Majesty. They would like very much to speak with you and teach you their battle arts. The High Inquisitor. There's a stockpile of dangerous artifacts that need to be cleansed, Your Majesty. Since you have such a close connection with the Ninth God, you are the ideal person to assist with the ritual. But I must say, it is not for the faint of heart. What about the monks? They live in a cave system deep within the coastal cliffs, Your Majesty. They're very reclusive, but they experience intense visions of the Ninth God. I think I've seen the, I believe I've seen this option before. Honestly, I actually want to do the High Inquisitor. But I also see that the Grandees have very low military. And I think that the Sisterhood might be able to help with that. So, I honestly don't know. Yeah. The Queen is humble, being relied on by the High Inquisitor is a bit much. Very good, Your Majesty. I will let them know that you'll visit the nunnery soon. Ah, yes, bankruptcy looms. Well, Lord Patrician Warplotus is here to see you, Your Majesty. He wants to sell you a crab. Again with the crab. Of course he does. It's the latest trend along the coast, Your Majesty. The patricians have started keeping a species of jeweled crab as a fashionable pet. The creatures are so rare that one can now sell for as much as a mansion. That's what I did last time, but thanks for seeing me, Your Majesty. I know the price is steep, but I assure you these crabs only go up in value. This sounds kinda heretical. This sounds far too heretical for my liking. Make it illegal. Of course, such a drastic measure will require a vote. You summon your council at once. I mean, I could just veto. All right, I'll let you guys decide. Oh dear. There you go. Do you have... I mean... I don't think we actually have the ability to overturn this vote, so... Once we have 3 on one option, that's it. The council refuses to pass your law. Over the next few weeks, the sale of crabs along the coast becomes more and more frenzied, and the prices grow to jaw-dropping heights. Well, that's disappointing. Bankruptcy looms. Well, there's a swear in that. I'm not gonna say that. What do you suggest we do? The register's almost empty. Apart from raising taxes, we have precious few options. You can get a bank loan, or sell off crown jewels. Or perhaps crack open some of your predecessors' tombs. Most were buried with piles of gold, or so I've heard. Well, I can't really go tomb raiding. I can't. Desecrating tombs would be very much against the Ninth God. That's... Crown jewels does sound like The crown shouldn't... Wait, 10,000? That's a lot of... That's a lot of money to go up. Anyways, crown jewels. We auction off dozens of necklaces, 5 gold rings, and a jeweled scepter to the nobles. It's a humiliating affair. Selling off symbols of power makes you look weak and desperate. Oh, look at the Sierra. Fetching, isn't it? I don't mind if I do. Hey, check out the scepter. I feel like I'm the queen. Well, I mean... It does seem a little prideful, like, what is... I don't know what is the word is for that. It's just... Anyways, so, the chiefs can lower their faith, or their military. The grandees can raise their trade, or raise my stability. The patricians can raise their farming, or lower my stability. Alright, let's start the auction. This time, I will, I'll make sure I don't miss out on... I'll do 20 seconds. So if anyone tries to time it right... A and D. Go. All right. So the library and the observatory were funded. The faith is now lowered. Stability is... The patricians are gonna have a rough time. Pagan prophecies and a sisterhood of steel. Start with the sisterhood of steel. Let's see if I can get the grandees' military up a bit. You take a trip via the southern canals to visit the home of the Sisterhood of Steel. Unlike most covenants, the place has a military look about it. Convents. My brain was incapable of reading that sentence properly. You notice the strategically placed arrow slits and high battlements. Slowly, the drawbridge is lowered. How do I pronounce that? The abbess comes to meet you. Greetings, Your Holiness. We're pleased you decided to visit. She nods to the Sisters of Steel, who are flanking you as usual. Even on the grounds of the convent, their stances are alert and ready. Sister, I hope you've handled yourselves with honor and devotion. Your honor guard bowed deeply to her, but do not speak. Well... You've been excellent honor guards. That is very good to hear, Your Holiness. You have greatly honored our order by choosing the Sisters of Steel for your honor guard. It's vital that they live up to that honor. I believe they've sworn a vow of silence. Now I hope you're ready for some exercise. I'm ready to learn. Devoted to the faith. Oh dear. Oh man, I skipped that. You follow her into the convent, where the walls surround a wide open square. Battle nuns dressing in gleaming armor fence with rapiers and practice hand-to-hand combat. While a cluster of archers shoot at targets. Unlike your honor guard, these sisters chat as you expect an ordinary parade ground. It's strange hearing them speak with your own guard completely silent. We can teach you a number of different practices: hand-to-hand martial arts, archery, or fencing. What can you teach me about archery? Across the courtyard, an arrow zips straight for the bullseye. Sisters have the best eye for archery in the south, nay the kingdom. Tell me about the martial artistry. Miss glances at a pair of sparring battle nuns. One smoothly throws the other to the ground. Well, martial artists are first trained when the South was at war with itself, defending this convent with their lives. What about fencing? Fencers are renowned all through the South. It is considered a great honor to be defeated by a steel sister. Archery, I think. You follow the abyss over to the targets and begin shooting arrows beneath the scorching sunshine. Soon your shoulders are exhausted and your elbow aches. Do I... Well, being zealous, I think... Praise the ninth, your holiness, test your mettle. Oh, gritting your teeth, you shoot again, but your arrow spins off wildly as pain streaks down your shoulder. On second thoughts, best stop for now. The best hurries you into the infirmary where she personally wraps your shoulder in bandages and pulls. These things happen. The sisterhood is not for everyone, but I trust you learned something. You stay the night in a less than luxurious cell, but head back to your boat with a package of delicious leftovers in your bag. Well, at least I got some food. Pagan prophecies. The northern chiefs, god speakers, have uncovered an ancient prophecy. What do I care about some pagan prophecy? As much as I appreciate your devotion to the ninth god, this is quite important. What she means to say is the chiefs plan to use the prophecy to justify unseating you. True or not, many northerners believe it. So what does it... Oh, ninth above. Quite. The prophecy tells of an authoritarian queen overthrown by a northern warrior. Savior of the pagans, known by names such as the Thronebreaker, the Sword of Valtor, or the Lord Render. That's you, by the way, the authoritarian queen, not the Lord Render. The prophecy calls for the collapse and death of all false gods, including the ninth, whom Nelquist lead into a bubbling cauldron disguised as a magical pond. This is sounding very heretical. It's worse than heresy, Your Majesty. It's a lie. We must strengthen the church in the north. Besides falsifying the prophecy, it might even save a few misguided northerners. Pagans still blindly worship their old gods. However, if we don't act soon, the kingdom may be lost. Well, I'm very the Queen is very concerned with... Yeah, I'm gonna veto that. The Queen's very concerned with the heresy. The Queen would like to do something about heresy. Of course. Nobody wants to go and raise faith on me. Oh, well, my faith's pretty high already, so I'm actually doing pretty good, I think. Other scholars and theologians discover another prophecy which contradicts the first, written on older stone tablets found in the same archaeological site. The northern commoners are not sure who to believe. You've bought yourself some time. The chief's stag goal will not be evaluated until the end of next season. Your distant cousin. Your Majesty, I have a matter of some delicacy to speak with you about. Good day, cousin. How's the old kingdom going, eh? I always thought it looked like a lot of work, but I suppose you get a fancy hat. Lord Fitzalbert is your very, very distant cousin. Still 50th in line to the throne. Haven't seen him in years. Oh dear. I get the feeling this is not a very faithful individual. Cousin, why are you dressed like that? Quite a dashing figure, aren't I? I had to borrow a few bits from Grandee Gardevoir after a donkey chewed through my coat. Fitzalbert's been staying at my estate for the past year, Your Highness, but alas, there have been financial impacts. He's been borrowing money from me for months, saying he'll pay it back when his luck turns, but now my coffers are bare. Yes, poor Gardevoir. Couldn't even afford a little banquet to see me off. I'm sorry it's come to this, but I must petition the court for funds, Your Holiness. We just sold the crown jewels. Now, let's just vote in anonymity. Don't know who's voting what, but I'll do a 5. Wait, is that worth doing? Alright. Leave Fitzalbert to sort this out himself. Well, you can afford the defiance, I suppose. Lord Fitzalbert storms out in a noisy huff. Still, at least the treasury is safe from your cousin's grasp. Yeah, I don't want to open up my coffers for that. For that guy. I don't trust that guy. Back on the coast, Lady Pendragon, has met with her co-conspirators once again. Wine is being passed around in good measure. There seems to be little cause for celebration. It's no good. The citizens are losing momentum. If we don't keep up the pressure, they'll go back to living their normal lives in peace. Bah, lazy good-for-nothings. Can't even get off their backsides for one measly revolt. We have to keep them unhappy. Don't allow the Queen time to stabilize. Admittedly, we're broke, but we have a pretty high authority and stability. patrician's goal is to lower the kingdom's stability to 4 or less. The patricians are looking pretty wealthy. Grandees. You guys don't have a lot. Let's just... You have nothing to tax, though. No, I think we're just gonna go with the normal tax. Your complaining cousin. The cousin that just took all the money I was gonna tax from the grandees. Interesting news from the south. Do all your family reunions go this well? Is my cousin causing trouble again? You could say that. Lord Fitzalbert has decided to go tell everyone that you're unwilling to give some of your own blood funds on which to survive. It's stirring up a bad feeling against you. Better to nip this in the bud before it gets out of control. Okay, whatever you decide to vote for, I'm fine with. Yeah, that does seem like the option to go for. Oh, that's it. Ah, that's better. We, you should see the, success of the Chiefs scheme this turn. Oh dear. There was a pat. Ooh. I should have waited a moment longer, I'm sorry. Officially reprimand him for his insolence. Probably would have gone for that anyways. Send a stern letter to Lord Fitzalbert, chiding him for his behavior. Do not hear anything back. Perhaps a storm is brewing. Well... I am very vengeful, so this does seem like I am gonna have to do something about him. Crab bubble bursts. Bad news, Your Majesty. A new reef has been discovered, which is overflowing with millions of jeweled crabs. Crab prices are crashing catastrophically. What? How could this be? The entire kingdom was suffered financially, Majesty, with the exception of a few patricians. Curiously, Lord Patrician Warplotus, the very same patrician who first began the crab craze, recently sold all his crabs at a huge profit, just days before the crash. Again! Did this with the last king too. At least I think it was one of the patricians did this last time. Something must be done. You summon your council to discuss the crab price crisis. Many assembled nobles have invested heavily in the crab market, and they are casting furious glances at the patricians' benches. Yeah. I see that I have about 2,000 gold, so I'm just gonna absolutely not bail out the failed businesses. Oh, but we could lower stability here. Oh, either option lowers stability. Never mind. They could confiscate the gold for the treasury. That wouldn't be the worst option. Oh man, getting late. Alright, with 3 votes, I think that... With 4 votes, I think that does it. The gold shall be confiscated, the treasury... Looking pretty good now. Trade is modest. Ability is civil. Defiance is aggrieved. Well... That looks good. Outraged patricians protest that your actions are illegal and make a mockery of the law. Don't they know you're the queen? I am about your heir. Of course your majesty refuses to get married against my advice. There's one other thing you're missing, however. Something even more important than a spouse. An heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're bastard, or the youngest of many cousins. Of course, I don't have a bastard laying around somewhere. I could just do a child from the orphanage, but I think youngest cousin should do. Oh, whoops. I clicked right before I saw your, I clicked just before I saw your post. But yeah, keeping the bloodline is probably better. Find one of my cousins that is very faithful, though. Yeah, they would. Let's end the season here. Part of the north, an ancient ceremony in a smoky clan hall reaches a fever pitch. Heth, the chief's claimant, sits atop a throne of bones surrounded by god speakers chanting in a forgotten tongue. And thus, with Morgana as my witness, I hereby crown you the Queen in the North, the Lord Render, soon to be Queen of all the kingdom. Glory to the Lord Render, chosen of Voltar, glory to Morgana and the North. The assembled chiefs roar in chorus with each other. Steins are smashing against one another in celebration. Now we must bring down the false queen in the south to fulfill the prophecy. The only question is how. It's just you. It's just you still, so after you vote, I will hit the continue. You can lower your defiance or raise your Neither of these options seem good. There is a way you can lower your defiance, though, and it does stop me from winning for a while, but so it is destined, so it will be. Spread the word to all Morgana's children. The throne breaker has risen, and the false queen will fall. But first we drink, in honor of all the gods. Well, I'll have a drink too. Push that lemon down. More cheers erupt throughout the clan hall. Morning, there will be a lot of work to do. For the final stage, You need to lower your defiance to 5 or less. So, Grandees, we want to piss off the chiefs. Maybe not right now, but like, if we appease them, we'll also want to piss them off. Oh dear. Golden choice I like. Let's switch that out for anonymous voting. Well, I mean, your name has been yellow this whole time, so... Yes, let's not piss off the chiefs right now. If they manage to lower defiance, we'll piss them off again. Your Majesty, the richest merchants in the south have bribed the grandees to give them an exclusive charter. They now control all trade of perfumes and dyes, the south's most valuable goods. It's a monopoly, Your Majesty. They're scamming the public by fixing prices, pushing small traders myself out of business. Something must be done. Yeah, it is this precarious situation. We gotta lower it a little bit, but not too much. Oh. Okay, so this defiance is for the grandees. Monopoly. Now, what I could do... Man of the Treasury gets... I could just raise my authority. We'll do that on an easier one, though. Yeah, the Chiefs want to lower the defiance to 5 or less. The patricians need to lower stability to 4 or less. Alright, so the other nobles are gone. That means I get to decide between these two options. I think that option seems good. It doesn't have any... It doesn't seem to be bad in any way for me. The defiance of the south is nothing really to worry about. Yes, they would vote B if they were here, but you see they're not. You've been abandoned. Smaller traders in the south flourish once again, and the prices return to a sensible level. Common folk rejoice. Trade is now dominant. Stability is ready. Everyone has their own things they're doing good with. The patricians have their farming. The grandees have trade. And the military, the chiefs. I'm pretty sure if the chiefs do rebel, they just win the rebellion. Famous cuisine might help me lower it a little bit. Chief Shikas comes to you bearing a covered tray and covers it with a flourish. A chief has set up a stall selling his special pickled herring at the monument. And it's become most popular. Everyone's flocking to try it. Your Highness, would you care to try some? I concerned about the poison? Absolutely. The herring is so pungent that you lose consciousness for 3 minutes. When you regain your senses, she is watching you expectantly. Delicious. The gods are good. I'm delighted you enjoy it. Trays of pickled herring are carted out and served to the assembled nobles. Many are enthusiastic, but Grandy Gardevoir shakes their head in disgust. Dreadful. How can you bring this to us? It tastes like urine. How dare you? You insult the pride of the chiefs. Your Majesty, please have this dreadful stuff taken away at once. We can't... We can't just do this one, though, because that'll... Hire the original chief to work in the palace. Let's just increase the trade. Here, if you'll get money if you vote A. Don't raise defiance quite yet. Alright, everyone gets some money. Hunger for pickled herring spreads, and the monument becomes a culinary landmark. Chefs make pilgrimages there to learn the recipe, and the dish is soon a staple all across the kingdom. Look, you have better trade. You served pickled herring for breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, supper, and even the occasional midnight snack. You can hardly turn around without smelling it. You'd absolutely kill for a nice plain apple crumble. Oh dear. What have I done to myself? Well, for the kingdom, I guess. Tested wreck. An opportunity, Your Serene Highness. A Kurth's ship sunk last week just off our coast. I request permission to salvage the wreckage. Kurth vessels are always full of valuable things. Wait. It might be off your coast, but it's in our waters, upon my honor. In fact, it's close to our city, closer to our city of Sarenza than any of yours. But you ceded those waters years ago in exchange for a chest of silver. You are having money problems. Your Serene Highness, esteemed council, don't let this liar fool you. Yeah, okay. Geez, there's 80% authority there. Let's just not do that one, though. Yeah, the Grandies are active enough. If somebody joins, it should go probably to the chiefs. It's possible the patricians might get someone. It won't be a Grandee, though. The game at the moment thinks there is currently one patrician, one chief, and 2 grandees. The game does balance it out that way. Allow the grandees to salvage a ship, or allow the patricians to salvage. Alright. Alright, I'll give it to the patricians. You said you sold it, so... Defiance is now insolent, Defiance is now grumbling. What? But it's in our waters. Move over, the council's word is final, isn't it? The challenge has succeeded, and some grandee's wealth is increased. Our patrician's wealth is increased. Sorry. The grandees are gathered in the empty council hall late at night. A new report from one of their spies had just come in. By the 9th, the chiefs held some kind of pagan ceremony last week. They crowned Heth as queen in the north. By the 9th, I knew we should have sent more inquisitors north. You should have seen this coming. It's too late to worry about that now. We're planning to march on the kingdom and crown Heth queen of all the kingdom. The problem is, we don't yet know how they plan to do it, and the queen still has yet to produce an heir. Perhaps it's worth changing tact. If it's too late for Queen Xaquina, we might want to get out while we can. Our only other option right now is to retake the throne by force, if we think that Xaquina is too weak to hold it. It's an all or nothing play. If we rebel now, our goodwill will be gone. Not to mention a few of our heads if we lose. We'll be back to square one. Oh dear. So, grandees, are you gonna continue to support me? You can give me some more money if you want. You could increase my authority, which would help prevent rebellion. Alright, you're gonna increase my stability. Well, that does kind of thwart the patricians' aims. Concerned about the chiefs, however. Praise be, this should help Xaquina keep a good grip on the peasantry. We can't do it all for her. Does this have... It just... Anytime it happens, I guess. Queen in the north. The grandees must continue to aid the queen by countering the other region's schemes. They will win if the queen produces an heir and completes her ambition. We have to keep the defiance of the chiefs between 6 and 8. Again, my cousin again? Oh, not this idiot. The spy master strolls into your library while you're reading, dragging your cousin Lord Fitzalbert by the scruff of the neck. Oh, thank the 9th. A moment, your majesty. No. He's a very distant cousin. He's not the one that I'm appointing. He's not the one I'm appointing to be my heir. God. Who's this fellow again? You know perfectly well that I'm of your own blood. I've intercepted a number of threatening letters from your cousin. Nothing of concern, but recently he's sired an assassin against you. A very poor one at that. I haven't seen any assassin. The spy master smiles. Oh, you haven't. You've treated me dreadfully. Why shouldn't I move against you? The so-called assassin was nothing but an amateur. Frankly, I'm amazed he didn't trip over and stab himself before I got the chance. But your cousin's actions raise concerns. Oh. Well... if you want money... let's start the vote. I'll read the chat while you guys vote. I actually have... Why would you vote against money? Alright. We shall put him in a monastery in the south. With a 100% chance of success, it succeeded. And it is quite in line with the Queen's zealous faithfulness. Lord Fitzalbert is furious, but he sulkily makes his way to a monastery in a remote part of the south. Stability is now peaceful. Faith can't go higher. As it turns out, he settles in well. The monks treating him with good-humored tolerance. You receive a letter from him a while later apologizing for trying to kill you and saying he's enjoying himself. Perhaps he'll cause less trouble now that he's out of your hair. Regardless, he's no longer your concern. Well, that really lined up well. It's a very... Yeah, it's a very faithful response. It gives him to the church. It gets him out of my hair. Just everything. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Your esteemed highness, unfortunate tidings. Summer has been exceedingly hot this year. The citizens have been dying from the heat. The harvest will be poor, as you can imagine. Is there something I can do? Perhaps, if your esteemed highness and the council are willing. Ooh. Just trying to think. Yeah, I'll just do that. That should... It doesn't matter to me what you vote for, I just wanted to add an increase of authority to this option. So, don't feel like my iron choice is any kind of voting preference. It's just a stat preference, so that authority goes up here if stability goes down, it goes up here if stability goes down, and here if stability goes up. Ah. Alright, there's servants. We shall mandate midday siestas. Well, that sounds good. You implement special measures in the coast to account for the hostile climate. The peasantry are grateful, and in turn, so are the patricians. Farming is now sufficient. Trade is now struggling. The stability is serene. I don't think we're getting a rebellion anytime soon. As for the crab trial, after months of delay, Lord Patrician Warp Lotus is finally due to stand for trial for his crab-related market manipulation. Now, Warp Lotus hasn't been here for a long time, so it does seem like he has a right to stand trial, so we might want to just acquit at this point. You stand accused of perpetrating fraud and tricking hunters into buying expensive crabs. How do you plead? I'm guilty only of making money. I broke a few laws along the way. Is that a crime? Okay, well maybe not acquit. Yes, obviously, I pronounce you guilty as charged, and your fate will be decided by the Queen. Ooh. Anyone up for a pardon? I'm up for a pardon. Isn't the ninth forgiving? Does the ninth preach forgiveness though, or is the ninth the more brutal worm god? Okay, everyone's saying hang. I'd rather pardon because that would increase the defiance of the chiefs. But I was in prison. Oh yeah, that still does get rid of the Warp Lotus. Right. I should have pardoned. Well, alright, the chiefs can raise their military or raise my authority. Isn't it bad to have 10 authority? Or anyways, you can lower the grandees can lower your own faith or lower your trade. I don't know why you would want to do either of those. Or you can increase the patricians' faith or decrease my stability. Now, for the grandees, I think your objective would be probably E. For the patricians, you want F. And the chiefs just want whatever screws me over, I guess. Because they don't have any option to lower their defiance. I'm sorry I didn't get to post the, how long was left. But we did end up with increased faith, decreased stability. Those are very cheap buildings, though. Finally my heir. I'm gonna go for that first. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... Ooh. Now, last time I did this... Hold on. Okay, last time I did this, I got a, thing out. So let me do that again. that. Heal. Alright. This will take just a minute. Okay, I could just go with my daughter. I did. My plan was to do what I did last time. So if anyone has any objections to this, I guess. No, not at a wheel. Well, I guess that's no objections to that. Adopted daughter. The village is now serene. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designating an heir, you cemented the stability of the kingdom. Your Highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on adopting an heir. What is her name? Xaquina II. Oh, right. Oops. There we go. I'm sorry about that. Really not a lot happened. Praise be, Your Highness. I'm sure little Queen Xaquina will grow up to be a chip off the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you just need to fill your ambition to win the game. Expect the visit from the Spy Master soon. So long as we can keep Defiance up, the Spy Master, and like we can raise the Defiance as high as we want. The stability is at 10. Troubleston Holly. Okay, the stability might go down a little bit. God above, this is not to be born. Grandy Gardevoir brandishes a crumbled hat. Yes, entirely agree. What are we talking about? Oh, my thanks. I think that's mine. This was left on the edge of my estate by a group of chiefs on holiday, along with a huge number of empty bottles of mead. They scattered picnic baskets everywhere, trampled my crops, and sat around a bonfire all night. My horses were terrified. Now I know. The culprit was Chief Chica's, and her dissolute idle friends. Sorry for pronouncing your name wrong. We're just enjoying our prosperity and taking a break from those Those clear skies, the shining sun. What a nice change from the north. You should be flattered that we're so eager to visit. Flattered? Gad, when the chiefs come to our lands, all they do is cause trouble and destruction. Oh dear. Do you want money? I mean, if you... The money will help offset the cost of the trade. How much money was it, anyways? That's not too bad. The lure of coin quickly overrides the grandee's principles. Chiefs flock to the south for week-long banquets and scandalous parties. Merchants and cooks alike prosper. Southern delicacies become famous. There's a booming trade in hangover cures. Yes, there's lots of clearing up to do afterwards, but that's a problem for later. Alright. Brand new harvester. Ah, well that's good. Our farming's been pretty low, and nobody cares about lowering it further. So, Your Majesty, the scholars and great thinkers of the North have invented a new farming implement. There's scholars in the North? Oh yeah, I guess that did happen. And increase the middle class in the North. Some kind of horse-drawn machine that automatically reaps and threshes grain. They call it a weed eater. It's revolutionizing agriculture. It would be of great use to us in the south. Our farms are struggling to keep up with demand, you know. Let's share the designs with the likes of you, Southern Leech. Our people worked hard on that machine. They deserve to reap its rewards, not you. Let's just not do that one. You can force the chiefs to distribute the designs. Compensate. I mean, compensate's a decent option. The treasury can afford it. You can leave the machines in the north. Is everyone left? Okay. There's still someone voting. There we go. Geez, last time we had 2 chiefs, 2 patricians, and no grandees left. All right. Well, I guess there's no real laws here, so just continue. That's not a vote that's getting overwhelmed. A fair price, I suppose. Rewarded for their ingenuity, the chiefs are satisfied, as is everyone else who produced brand new weed eaters for their farms at lightning speed. Yeah, not at that point. But you got some money out of it. Yeah. Oh, I think I just, leave the taxes as they are. This is a pretty fair tax. No, the kingdom's doing fine. We don't need an extra tax. I don't need a cruel tax. We're doing fine. Oh. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be a saint. You're well on your way to achieving that goal. The church has never loved a queen more. Well done, Your Majesty. Yeah, this is a pretty good faith. Defiance is... Why did that lower defiance? I should have cruel taxed everyone. But to shut down your noble scheming for good, you just help my noble scheme. Why? We need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. Majesty, if you help us spread the zeal of the ninth god, the church will lend our full support. With the backing of the church, your nobles wouldn't dare move against you. We heard of the Scepter of Sages. I mean, it's an ancient lost artifact forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There's a legend that any queen who recovers it will rule over a golden age. Now, trade is doing decent, but authority. We got good authority. Wise decision. The authority of the church shall not be... I don't care about money. I care about the authority of the church. At least Xaquina does. But of course you need to be worthy. Your priority is to raise your authority and the kingdom's overall faith as much as you can. And of course, there can't be open rebellion amongst the nobles. A wild beast attacks. I should deal with that. Your Highness, I bring ill tidings from the north. Wildlife has gone berserk in rural areas. They're attacking villagers and travelers all along the region. Beasts, you say? Can't you deal with them yourself? They're not mere beasts, Your Majesty. They are great hulking creatures clearly twisted by magic. Some say they walk and talk like people. The northern warriors are afraid. They say creatures are a dark omen, a sign of the end. Depths below, what's got into these chiefs that they can't handle a few wild animals. The other Warp Lotus. Gone. Other regions have plenty of their own problems, Your Serene Highness. No one wants to march up to the frozen north for something like this. And what am I to do? Point of order, Your Highness. The church's presence in the north is minimal. We can provide shelter for those who need it. All will be welcome, whether they have adherence to the true god or not. That's the least we can do. Or if we can afford it, send a detachment. The mercenaries who aren't afraid of a few wild bears. We should put an end to the crisis. Let me just veto that option. I'm fine with either of the other two. If the Northerners fend for themselves, it's really just a matter of faith or defiance. Either one of those helps me. Either way, farming goes down. Authority, though. Let's help the faith. I think the defiance I can manage. The Archbishop instructs all churches across the north to open their doors to refugees fleeing the attacks. They're more than glad for the assistance. Over time, the beasts withdraw. The Northerners are grateful for the church's help, with many finding a new place in their hearts for the ninth god and his disciples. A vanity project. The chief architect bustles into your office carrying an armful of parchment. Statues can be torn down, paintings can be burned. Don't you think it's time you left a lasting mark on this kingdom? I propose we carve your majesty's visage. I don't know how to pronounce that. Visage? Into the side of a mountain. Take dozens of artisans, thousands of hours. I'm sure you're always remembered. That doesn't sound like something a religious zealot would be interested in. Well, I went to university and everything. Call a vote to discuss this outrageous plan. A mountainside carved in your likeness will surely get people talking, but it'll take time and a lot of gold. Alright, vote for whatever you want. It's just I would have done it, but it's just the Queen is not very fond of such hubris, really. If the council wants it, then by all means. There is a patrician left to vote to be the tiebreaker. So you Pin Dragon, if you want to vote, feel free. I'm gonna count down from 5. Oh. Never mind. It seems I will be paying for it. Oh, this will be a new wonder of Celeste Ath. Planning starts in earnest. A mountainside is covered in scaffolding. You wait eagerly for news of the project's completion. The work is plagued by setbacks. The stone is harder to carve than anticipated. Storms knock down the scaffolds. A rock slide erases much of the work that has been done. Your Majesty, I have to admit that I may have bitten off more than I could. I am sure it'll work out in the end, right? Yes, of course it will. As the weeks roll past, it becomes clear that the Chief Architect's grand designs will take a lot longer to come to fruition. We'll see how that goes. In season. That seems absurd for the delay that I have. I think I'm good. Now, I have my ambition right there, but before I do that, I will go for all the others. Your Greatness, I have come to thank you in the 9th Church for your kindness during the so-called season of claws. Never thought I'd say it, but I'm glad for their help. The creature's attacks have erased, and I can only imagine why, but I thank the gods for it. Both the old and the new. May they never return. Once the chief has bowed her head to leave, your Archbishop is quick to lean over to you. Your Majesty, we are presented with a golden opportunity to expand the Church's influence. We should capitalize on this goodwill immediately. We don't have the ability to do that. But I'll bribe the nobles if they want to send some missionaries. I could just outright abolish democracy for this vote, but I'm not that kind of person. This will put my because if you want to vote B, you can, but you're passing up on the gold. I'll also give you some time to actually properly vote, because that's not going to go through. Oh wait, no, B is the way to get the money. Okay, fair enough. I was thinking... thought that was B for reasons of the A not actually existing as an option. Alright. Defiance is now enraged. The chiefs are predictably angered by your brazenness. Still, your recent aid goes a long way in smoothing over any disagreements. The missionaries yield mixed results. As months pass, some are successful in turning the northern peasantry towards the ninth god, while others find themselves chased out with only clothes on their back. Yeah, it... honestly... like, my faith is at 26, authority 9. It's... looks like the end is nigh. It could have been much worse, your highness, but at least no one was mulched alive to appease some shrub god like... Yeah, that would have been terrible. An old debt. An old debt. How do you expect me to take this seriously, you crap-brained simpleton? Shut your daft mouth and give me what I'm owed, you honorless dog. Calm down, both of you. The simple-headed blackwit expects me to pay them a huge quantity of gold just because their great-great-grandfather beat my great-great-grandfather in a foot race. Debt owed is a debt owed, is it not? Your Holiness, I only recently discovered this debt while combing through my ancestors' journal. Honor dictates that Lady Pendragon, is liable for her ancestors' debt. By sea and storm, this is ludicrous. I demand we put this to a vote. Ooh. I assume... You know what? I'll just leave it to you guys to decide. I would have vetoed the 2 months of interest. Canceling the debt seems like... It's a pretty old debt. Centuries old. We don't... Yeah, okay. Gotta just run down the clock, because not everyone's voted. Oof, that... Yeah, that really sucks. 5k to destitute, that's rough. Yeah, see, that's what this game can do, but... Oh, that's a pretty low defiance there. Glad the council sees reason on this matter. A debt is a debt. Does nobody care about honor anymore? Alright, this is possibly gonna be the end of the game. Your Majesty, I've received messages from the priests beyond the capital. I'm working hard to promote your power in every sermon. What have they been saying? The crown is the divine right to rule, but my priests are pushing that message just a bit harder. More of the divine mandate. Let's listen to the priest's letters. Success. Your command of the kingdom is masterful, Your Majesty. The nobles are in no position to push back against you. Now the journey of sainthood begins. We will scour the kingdom for miracles so that you can show the holiness of your rule. Please thank your priests for me. Oh, they need no thanks. It was 90%. So there was still a chance of failure, but not a very big chance. Oh, they need no thanks. More than ever, they serve the crown and the ninth as one. 80%. That's what I thought it would be. I shall write to my priest directly. They will investigate any potential miracles and send word once they find something. Oh, this is it. Let's go. After a few weeks, we failed. Oh my god. The Archbishop returns with an immensely sour expression. The coast, a pig seemed to be sick. But then she got up and walked. And a villager in the south claimed that his statue of St. Bertrand started crying, but his neighbors say it was just the rain. Ah. I must pray harder. With respect, Your Majesty. This is larger than just you. This is larger than just you. We must bring the lost sheep back to our flock. Without a faithful kingdom, there's little to be done. I think the kingdom's pretty faithful already. Chiefs still have a chance to rebel, but they'd have to lower my stability. All right, well we'll go a little bit longer. Let's see. Your Highness, I come before you with a humble plea. I don't need to do the ambition, or the authority part of the ambition again, do I? It's just the faith, right? Well, basically the, defiance of the region has to be higher than both authority and stability. So pretty much with 10 stability, there is no rebellion. We the chiefs of the north have had an awakening. The ninth god has found his way to our lands, with your help, of course. Will you induct us into the church? I shall call a vote then. Very good, Your Majesty. I would be most happy to perform the rites on this new bishop. Should the council agree to it? I would veto, but there's only 2 options, so go ahead. Set up for next game. I don't think. Is that raised defiance for the other regions? Oh, that lowers your that lowers the chief's defiance. That's what they want. Oh dear. Council has decided that a new bishop shall be ordained, a first for the chiefs of the north. Chief Chikas and her fellow devotees are overjoyed. The other regions, however, are more reluctant to accept the new bishop. All kinds of excuses are given, but in the end, it doesn't matter much. The bishop is ordained in St. Bertrand's within the month. This seems more important. I would have gone for the strike first, but this is an attack. Your Highness, I'm ruined. The Hordlings have occupied my vineyard and driven my staff away. The spoons again. What's a Hordling? Grubby little creatures like fat green babies with claws. Hard to kill. Fire is the only way to get rid of them permanently. Whatever you do, do it soon. They're eating all of my grapes. Can't your fellow grandees help out? The plight is of no interest to them. I'll assemble the council. Don't really have the money to afford this one. That'll be that. You feel free to burn the vineyard or strong arm the grandees. I don't know why that... I don't know why that increases wealth. Yeah, it's really just strong arm the other grandee. Okay, when the grandees grudgingly send their token force, grudgingly, a slaughter ensues. The hordlings put up a meager fight before scurrying into the hills. Peculiarly, grandees discovered that the hordlings filled Grandee Gardevoir's wine cellar with spoons. So many that it's almost impossible to move down there. Your money has gone up. Oh, whoops. I think I skipped something there. Yeah. Your Highness, I need help with my peasants. The south is prosperous and living conditions are improving. But they still want more. They've gone on strike demanding better pay and fewer hours. Many have thrown down their tools and started squatting on my property. I should deliver with the council. Okay. Yeah, what was that about not needing more military? I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. That seems good. Oh man. Almost 3 hours in this session. Roshikas wants to send in the military. At the treasury? Oh dear. I think I'd rather do the treasury here. I don't know how much money it's gonna be though. Oh, I could do a straight up 1,000 for that, so for 100% success rate. You divert funds from the treasury to compensate the workers in the south, hoping the bribe will be enough to make them stand down. As we see, what matters more than money is, well, religion. So, oh, whoops, that could have been bad. The peasants return to work and the grandees are satisfied. With enough money, you can solve nearly any problem. Well, that's not quite the message I was going for. I actually haven't really explored all these areas very well. Okay. So y'all have lots of money. Farming, trade, farming, faith, ability. Why does it keep putting the faith, lowering the faith options for the grandees? Really, the only good option here is for the, as far as like preparing for the next game is just A. Hope the Chiefs get a bit more farming, but then there's... Okay, here, I'll do a 10 seconds. E and A. That's pretty good. Alright, so we got a cathedral and an aqueduct. A plague of rats. Lord Magician Warp Lotus the Second strides into the council chambers, distraught, waving a dead rat by its tail. The fields and barns of the coast are overrun by vermin. We have no more poison for these horrible things. We can't cope anymore. Oh dear. Okay, I did this last time. It didn't work. Someone stole the rat poison and everyone got pissed off. But I'll try it again. If Shikas wants to get a little bit more money, give alright, there we go. Ah, 16. Ah, man, I succeeded this time. Thank the ninth. Send barrels of poison to the coast. Closely guarded. Soon rat corpses litter the land. Its messy and poison stockpiles will take some time to recover. The infestation is over. Deal with a bankruptcy and then probably end the game, because that's gonna... The treasury is almost empty. Oof. Let's take a loan. The Bank of Solvent and Gull operates from the fabulously wealthy Republic of Girth, all the way across the Western Sea. They assure you, however, they maintain total independence from the Republic. Banker they send to take your signature has delicate hands and sharp teeth. He watches as you put pen to paper, eyes glittering. You're making an excellent decision, Your Majesty. You shall pay us back with 25% interest in 1 year. Settling the kingdom in debt isn't great optics, but he had no other choice. Yeah, that sucks. Alright, I sent my priests to investigate any potential miracles and send word once they find something. Hopefully we hear back soon. Wow. Actually 100% this time, so that is going to be the end of the game. After a few weeks, Lord Patrician Warp Lotus II arrives excitedly. Marvelous, Your Serene Highness. Excellent news from the coast. 9 white wildcats were seen close to Patrician's villa, and a group of mercenaries followed them along the coast. There they found an ancient, forgotten church carved into the cliffside. The wildcats vanished, leaving only a handful of fur. Besides, you must recall how last week the statue of Saint Bertrand wept blood after you visited the cathedral, and that a peasant reported a vision of you being blessed by the ninth. When the Queen's rule is holy, the ninth god rewards. Everyone agrees the signs are here. Does that mean it's time? I believe it is, Your Majesty. I will make preparations for the ceremony at St. Bertrand's Cathedral. I look forward to seeing you. Before you know it, the time has come. It's a gloriously sunny day in the capital, and the layers upon layers of ceremonial robes are rather hot. You stand before the Archbishop in St. Bertrand's Cathedral in front of the gathered nobles. Off to the sides, the Queen Xaquina is watching excitedly. She occasionally tries to dash into the crowd, but her governess retrieves her each time. We gather before the power of the ninth god to witness the holy influence of Queen Xaquina. There follows a very long sermon. Stand and smile respectfully. Everyone's faith cannot go any higher. It goes on and on, but eventually it's time for your blessing. A blanket of silence falls over the cathedral. You step forward and the Archbishop sprinkles holy water upon your brow. Perhaps you feel something. Warm glow as if the ninth god is watching. The power of the ninth god bathes you in holy light. The nobles can never stand against you now. Rise once more, the Queen of the Kingdom, as Saint Xaquina. And the ninth god bless this day. He will, Your Majesty, he will. Applause rises in the cathedral, echoing in the huge rafters. Surrounded by her red-robed devotees, the High Inquisitor is watching closely. After a moment, she applauds with the rest. At the next council session, the nobles arrive to find a cluster of inquisitors who have joined your honor guard. What are they doing here? Since when does the Inquisition have a place in the council? By sea and storm hush, do you want to be tried for heresy? The power of the ninth god courses through my veins! Okay, I kinda just want to click on that one. The nobles fall silent, terrified. Maybe sainthood doesn't work like that, but what does it matter? Over the course of the day, the boldest noble is quick to vote with the crown. It's so easy, relaxing, efficient. You finish early for the first time in months. With the church at your back, you have license to do what you please, as long as you keep on the ninth god's goods. Intrusive thought one. But hey, the Queen is a saint now. She can do what she wants. A long, glorious, and venerated reign awaits for Saint Xaquina. Oh. The grandees celebrated their victory and Xaquina was venerated as a true hero of the South. But some whispered that the Grandees were losing control of their puppet as the Queen consolidated her power around her heir, Princess Xaquina II. The chiefs decided that the time must not have been ripe. The prophecy was quietly forgotten by all except the God Speakers, who waited for the right omens to rise again. Unable to convince the peasants to act in time, the patricians' scheme fizzled into relevancy. Perhaps next time they take matters into their own hands, instead of hinging their plans on the whims of common folk. Yeah, well, the Xaquina was the puppet the first game. The monarch the Grandees put into power. Praise be, under Saint Xaquina's reign, the church was all-powerful. The only thing warmer than the hearts of the believers were the heretics being burned alive. The Queen died peacefully after another 15 years of devout rule. Legend says that an angel appeared at her bedside to bear her to the thereafter. So no one actually died out of that. 3 years, 6 months. Which makes the total reign would be, what? About 18 years and 18 and a half years. From 965 to 968. Okay, I almost clicked. I did this last time. I clicked this button because I thought it would bring us to here. Sheikah's is at 5147. The poorest noble is still actually pretty wealthy. Alright, well you have a good one, Ben Dragon. No, I'm glad you enjoyed. Well, poised for next time, yes. I mean, you were the wealthiest noble when you joined as well, so... You do have to work on your farming, though. You have a little bit... Oh. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens next time. I think... I'm gonna think about this for a moment as far as what day would work. I might be able to do some... I might be able to stream again tomorrow. If not, it's gonna have to be Friday. Assuming nothing else comes up on Friday. Yeah, it's... I do like when Loyalist's team succeeds. Loyalist is a fun one. I mean... I'm a little biased as I was the monarch, so... But yeah. Well, you have a good one as well, Language Hunter. Alright, so... I'm just gonna take another look. Yeah, the military really did not do anything that game. Faith is just... devout as could be. Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what happens, but hopefully there's teammates. Yeah, it does suck when you're on your own against the... That was probably why the Grandees, or the Loyalists won. It's just because there was two Grandees. One chief, one patrician. They couldn't outvote me. So... I couldn't outvote the Loyalist faction. I would have been ousted if the Grandees were wanting to oust me. overall, everything looks kind of decent, though. Like, there's low military, patricians have low trade, and the chiefs have low farming. But outside that, the only other issue is the defiance of the chiefs. So that is a pretty good looking kingdom, to be honest. Oh, thanks y'all for stopping by. I typically these days I start streaming at about 8, go on to like 8 o'clock Mountain Time, go on to, well, today is 11:30, so just go on as long as the game goes. Yeah, have a good night, Chicas. I'll be back sometime during the week, possibly tomorrow, possibly Friday. But until then, have a good one.